Hello, good evening. I just realised I've still got my big cuddly on. At least I'm toasty warm. I might get too hot later, I'll be having hot flushes. Anyway, Wednesday evening. Good evening. I've decided tonight we are going to play with our poly plates. Got that really bright light on me again. There we go, let's turn it down a bit. Oh, that's better. Don't look like I'm being blinded anymore. So we're going to play with poly plates tonight. I have got one, just warming up. So I have got the big swoosh. So I've got that one that we're going to play with. And we're just going to have some fun. Bit of poly plate. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, so I thought let's play with some poly plates and it'll soon become clear what we want to do. Good evening, Lynn. Good evening, Jackie. Hi, Tracy. So yeah, that's my plan. And we'll take it from there. I haven't chosen any inks. I've got a poly plate and I've got a couple of pieces of cut card. So we might start with something a bit, yeah, I might start with one of my scraps. Actually, I'm going to start with the scrap. There you go. We'll use that as my scrap piece first. Because I'll get a few of them on there. I will indeed. Right. I think I've got a plan-ish, maybe. We'll see. First up, I need to grab some colours. I'm going to let that warm up a bit more on my heater first. It's a bit chilly in here. I forgot to put the heating on, hence why I've still got my cuddly on. Because I forgot it was so cold. Anyway, let's get crafting, shall we? Evening, Mum. There we go. Let's move you to that one. I look really intense then, didn't I? I was like, I can't find where I want to be. So, we're going to play with poly plates. Yep, so I've got the mini swoosh with me. And I'm going to play with my inks and my oxides. So I am just going to grab a few colours before we begin. I'm going to start off with inks, I think. You know me, I love my inks. And I've got my go-to colours for when I'm not quite sure what we want to do. They are my go-to colours. We've all got go-to colours, haven't we? We all must have go-to colours. It'd be rude not to have go-to colours. There we go. They're my go-to colours for that one. And I'm just going to grab some oxides as well whilst we're at it. Whilst I've got my inks out, I might as well go for it, hadn't I? Ooh, that could be interesting. I know I keep going for the same colours, don't I? I'm really naughty. Same colours all the time. I'm having a quick look whether we want to change it up a little bit. Might have a bit. I've not used Villainous Potion before. Well, I have, but not much of it. It's a bit of Villainous. Ooh, them two might look alright together. We might take a bit of that in there as well. Right. I'm going to do that instead. I did change my mind, didn't I? Oh, actually. Let's have a bit of that one as well. Right. So, my poly plate will be freezing cold, so it's not going to stick very well. So we're going to sort that out. So if you get your poly plate and it's not sticking, you need to sort it out, don't you? So I'm just going to give it a quick spritz on the back and give it a quick rub. And make sure it's all nice and clean, which is the key. Mine are never clean and tidy, are they? Because I am naughty. At least it was in its packet, kind of, ish. Yeah. So all I'm doing is I'm just rubbing the back of it. You could use a bit of tissue, a bit of cloth, but it's easier to do by hand. I can feel all bits and yak and all sorts coming off it. Should have spent a few minutes cleaning it before we started. So, what have I got to update you on? Might as well do that while I'm just cleaning my poly plate. You can see it's still got gunk on it now. What have I got to update you on? Multi-makes have gone out. They all went out today. You can see it's got film on it at the moment. So they should be with you in the next couple of days. You are in for a treat. You'll probably notice my little boo-boo in it as well. So I'm not going to say what is the wrong size, but you will notice the moment you open the box. Let's just say there's a difference between A5 and A4. And I forgot. Right, so that should be better. So I'm just going to pop it in my hand to warm it up a little bit. Actually, I'll pop it back on there while I find my stamping block. But that will be with you shortly. So yeah, what else have I got to say? I didn't get the new digital release on the website today because the website was playing up, but it'll be on there as soon as it will load. So there'll be some new digi stamps coming out, hopefully tomorrow. And then we've got some new releases as well coming up soon. But I don't know when I'll be releasing them yet. But later in the month. Right. There we go. Polyplate's nice and sticky again now. And everything's wet. So let's start off with our inks, because you know I love playing with polyplates and inks. They're like my go-to things, aren't they? There we go. So I have got my go-to colours. I have got my cracked pistachio, my peacock feathers, and a bit of picked raspberry, because I do love those colours together. I think they make really nice. They're a really nice combination. So I'm going to start off with a piece of white paper so you can see what I'm doing. Ooh, it's a bit of a dirty stamp block, isn't it? It doesn't look as bad on screen. It is really bad. So I'm going to start off with my palest one. So Distress inks, they're in a black case, yeah. And you're okay doing this with them. Your Distress oxides, no. But we're doing them differently. So I'm just going to start by putting an all over layer of my cracked pistachio. Yep. Just like that. And then we're going to put a little bit of our blue. So just dots and dabs. Now I'm working on the edge of my ink pad. Just like that. And then I'm going to put little splodges of, oh, that wasn't so little. There you go, my pink. And then we're going to spritz. So I'm going to lift mine up to spritz and turn around. There you go. As can you see, we've got bubbles actually. I'm going to do one more. You want it so it's bubbled, but not like a waterfall, yeah? And then we're going to pop it on. Just like that. And we're going to lift it up. Whoop. So there you go. We've got a really cool looking background. I'm just going to lift that off because I'm not going to dry it. I'm going to cheat. But if you notice on this polyplate, it's meant to be a brush stroke, isn't it? Yep, so it's meant to be like a brush stroke. Lynn says all the Distress inks are bitty. Mine, to be fair, a few of mine I've got. Mine have used and abused. Let's put it that way. It's got little bits all around the edge that are coming off, the felt pad bits. So I just clean them up and carry on using them. But they do start to go around the edge. But some of mine are. Let me see if I can find one. See that one? That one's one of the original ones that when it came out. And that one. If I hadn't stuck that sticker on it, I think it would say 2000 and... I don't know, it looks like a 12 to me, that bit there. But I'm not sure. So mine are really, really old ones. Yeah. So anyway, this polyplate is like a swoosh effect, and that's what we want to do. So I'm going to grab my pistachio and pop a base layer of pistachio down. I always like to have a base layer of one colour. Yeah, because then if I miss any bits, yeah, it's not going to be, you're not going to notice because it's still got a colour there. Even if it's your palest colour, you've still got a colour there, haven't you? So I'm then going to grab this one and I'm just going to drag it across. So can you see I'm just using the very edge of my ink pad, the very tip, yeah, very tip. You can see mine's coming away at the edges there. And I'm just dragging it across, so you're getting like those swoosh marks on it. And I'm concentrating on the edges, and we've got a bit of detail in the middle here. But this is work with any of your polyplates, it's just this one's a swoosh. So you need to have swoosh marks, don't you? So I'm going to take that off, I'm just going to spritz it again until I get my balls. Yeah, I'm going to turn it over. I got my hand then more than I got my polyplate. Might be a reason I've got my big cuddly on tonight, just to dry my hands on. I'm going to pop that down there. There you go. I'm just going to lift him up. There you go. So can you see those two colours have started to merge together? She got the lovely crap pistachio and my peacock feathers. I did have to check them, my colours, didn't I? And you can see it's all merging together. However, we can make it a little bit more defined. So this time I am going to dry it. I like it like that because you get it. It looks like you've watercoloured a swoosh, doesn't it? Then imagine a bit of splattering around edge. Jobs are good. And however, what we're going to do is just going to grab our heat gun. I'm just going to dry this one off. I don't know what that is on that one. Anyway. Right, so there's that one. I'm using Distress inks, but you could use anything that's that's water-based ink to do it with. So I know Mum uses her mementos to do things like this with. So it's not just inks that you'll get this effect with. So I'm going to do exactly the same as what I did on this one again. I'm just going to drag my colour, especially around this little bit around here. Yep. So I'm just dragging it. Imagine you've got your paintbrush in your hand, yeah, and you're just picking up those little bits of colour. So just a few little dots and dashes. I nearly got it on my top then. There we go. So you can start to see. There we go. Yep, that'll work. And I'm not going to spritz it. I'm not going to do anything like that. All I want to do now is very, very carefully come back. So you can see all my grey hairs now. I'm just going to pop that on top like that. I'm going to give it a rub. Now, you can, if you want, rub it from the other side as well. So just slide it off your table, turn it over, just give it a little rub on the back. Pick up that ink. Just be careful if you've got ink on your base, you don't want to rub it onto that. There we go. And then we lift it off. And can you see now we've got all those lovely lines on our poly plate. Didn't do too bad with me lining up. I'm a little bit out down here. Yeah. So we've done a bit of a smoosh. We've done one with a bit of texture on it. Should we? What else should we do with them? Oops. I'm just eating my tissue at the same time. There we go. Right. So what else should we do with it? I know what we'll do. We'll do a quick oxide and then we'll combine the two as well. So I'm going to put that to one side. So that was our Distress inks. I'm going to put them up there. Let me see if I can find another scrap of card. Oops. I can, but they're odd shapes now. I think that one might work. Yeah, so we're going to do our Distress inks, oxides this time. So difference is these ones we need to layer our colours. We can't do them all together. Yeah, so it needs to be one colour at a time, or there is a way, and I'll show you that in a second, of popping a couple on at the same time. So I'm going to start off with my Salvage Patina, I think. I'm just going to pop this one on. If you want a really good coverage, pop your ink pad down, make sure you've got your finger in the middle, because all ink pads bow, and give it a quick swizzle just like that. But make sure your poly plate's dry before you do that, otherwise it starts to activate before you get to work with it. So I'm just going to give it a quick spritz. You could do it like that and you get all this lovely texture, but I don't want that. I want a bit of a spritz. I know I keep turning around to no, it's not going to fit that way. It'll fit that way though, just like that. Just give it a moment and then we're going to lift it up. She says it does want to. And there you go. There is just one plain oxide. So I'm just cleaning up my poly plate now. And we want to add a bit more colour to that, don't we? Because it looks a bit boring, one colour, one tone. So I'm going to add, what should we add? A bit of wilted violet maybe? I think so. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing as we did before on this one. I'm going to come in and put more ink on. It always reminds me of a little cat's head, this first bit. I'm not worrying too much about getting my streaks in there because we're going to spritz it. And so this one's already wet, and when we spritz it, they should start to merge together. I'm going to give it a quick spritz. I'm going to do another bit. Can you see I've not quite spritzed here and up here? Yep. So I'm just going to pop that out of the way and pop that down on top. So what should happen now is she'll try and get them lined up. Ooh. A bit wet, that bit. There we go. And you should start to get a bit more of a blended feel. Oh, I quite like them colours together. Might have to try them in oxide, in inks in a minute. Yeah, so you can start to see. Oh, I think Facebook's playing up tonight, isn't it? Or my internet is, one of the two. Bear with 2 seconds. I'll get there in a minute. Oh no, caught back up. No, that should be better. So you can see we've got that lovely blended, just like that. We get all that lovely chalkiness from your oxides. Now it was a bit of a faff, wasn't it, having to do one colour and then the other. So there is a way you can put them both on at the same time. So let me grab another piece of paper. I'm going to end up with loads of little bits, aren't I? I hadn't quite thought that bit through. But we'll sort it. We'll sort something. We'll do something with them in a minute. So I'm going to use exactly the same two colours to show you a different way of getting that. So I'm just going to ink it up again. So on and give it a bit of a squidge because I want quite a lot of ink on this one. Just like that. And then I'm going to get either a blending tool, tissue, whatever you would normally add ink with. Grab. And then we're going to go back and grab our wilted violet, because these two do work really well. I really hadn't tried these two before. And we're just going to add with a tissue some of our ink. Now you just need to be careful that you don't add the blue to your ink pad doing it this way. Yep. So if you notice, when I add my ink, I move around my tissue. I'm just going to pop a little bit there, I think. There we go, that should be fine. Put my lid back on. Just going to clean it up a bit. Can you see I've got ink everywhere? That's never going to work, is it? I'm going to pop that around the edge. Oops, throwing everything. I'm just going to give it a spritz like we did before until we get the lovely bubbles, and then keep spritzing my hand. I've got something about spritzing my hand tonight. I'll pop it down on here. Give it a nice rub, and then we're just going to pick it up just like that, so you can see, yeah, so you get a similar effect. Yep, but you only have to do it once, you don't have to line it up. So if you're not using a stamping platform but you want to add 2 oxides, that's the way to do it. Make sure you use either a blending tool, tissue or something else to add it to. Yeah, so I'm going to move them 2 out of the way. We're now going to combine the 2. So we're going to do an ink base, I think. Ink. yeah, an ink base, and then we're going to use our oxides to put some extra texture. I can't get the words out. Texture, that's the word. Out the top. There we go. So I'm just going to a real good clean. There we go. Right. So I'm going to keep some of the same colours. I'm going to come back to this one. So I'm going to go with my cracked pistachio. This one, it does, I think, because you're not layering up, you've got to think this one, the first way we do it, we've got so much colour, yeah? So you've put a layer of your blue on, and then you put a layer of your purple on, so it's going for really thick. Whereas this one, what you've actually done is put a layer of your turquoise on, so salvage patina I think it was, or was it speckled egg? Salvage patina. And then by putting it on with the tissue, what you're actually doing is removing some of that colour to replace it with the purple. So it's actually a lot thinner, I think is the word I'm looking for, in the application. Yeah, which is actually a lot closer to doing it with the inks. You get that same watercolour effect. Yeah, if I do it like that, you can see them all. Look cool though, don't they? It is really easy. It's just playing with our poly plates. So, ooh. Again, I'm going to come back. Oh, that's the one I wanted. I tidied everything away. It's not like me. Normally it's all over my desk. So I'm going to go in with, I'm going to do a bit like this. So I've got my cracked pistachio. I want my lovely blue. So I'm going to come in around the edges. I'm going a bit heavy-handed with this. I shouldn't do really, because I want to show the top bits. There we go. Right. I'm just going to clean that up because I've got it everywhere. I'm being very messy, aren't I, tonight? It's not like me, I was going to say. Yeah, it is like me. It is like me, being messy. So I'm just going to do a quick spritz. There we go. It does look a bit like the sea. And then we're going to pop it on here. There we go, just give it a poke, make sure you're happy with it. I went a bit over the top of my spritzing, which is why I've ended up with loads of water left over. That's okay. Messy. It is fun, isn't it, Tracy? See, I wasn't sure what to do tonight, and then, well, I fell over a poly plate, and it's like, right, it's a sign, that's what we're playing with. Right, so I've got all that on there. I'm thinking, do I want to dry it, do I not? I probably do. I do. I want to give it a bit of a dry. Ooh, that was a grumbly tumbly. Sounded like a monster from the deep, that one. Just a Loch Ness monster coming through. So I've always thought a Loch Ness monster would be quite friendly. Don't know why. Like the abominable snow monster. I always think that one would be quite a friendly one. Bigfoot I'm not too sure about. He could be a bit hit and miss, Bigfoot. But Nessie, definitely. I think she's a nice monster. Right, that should be dry. It's funny, isn't it? How you get ideas of, you know, nice and nasty monsters. I think it's because he lives in the sea, Nessie. Well, not in the sea, he lives in the... Not a lagoon, is it? A loch. Clues in the name there, dear. Silly, silly thing. Right, I'm just looking for a... Said it looks like the sea. Let's go for some bubbles type things. So I've grabbed... I'm trying to be organised here. I have grabbed my texture box. Because I should have all my texture stamps in one place. Woohoo, I know. Not like me at all. But now they're all in one place. Can I find the one I want? That's another question. We're looking. I want bubbly ones. Ooh, I might use that one actually. That would work. I'm going to use Loopy-Loo. I'm going to grab our Loopy-Loo off here, because it looks like bits of underwater theme. It looks like what do you call it, seaweed, doesn't it? Or I don't know, the seaweed hangs down. Might do. Floating seaweed you get, don't you? Sorry, I'm being very random tonight, aren't I? Right, so I have got my Loopy-Loo. I'm going to grab my poly plate and I'm going to grab a piece of white card so you can actually see what I'm doing. Because at the moment, you've got no chance of seeing what I'm doing on there. So I'm going to pop it on white card and I think we're going to go with violet, just so it stands out, or pink. Violet. Let's use violet. I do like violet. A bit of that villainous potion we might kick in a minute. So we're just going to take our poly plate and our stamp and we're going to do a bit of kissing. There we go. So just pop it on, give it a kiss. Just be careful because it will try and slip if it's wet. There we go. Another one. I like little rock formations, don't they? Oh, Nessie's back again. That one over there. I can do that there. Right, so I'm going to leave that for now. And then we're just going to take this one and we're going to line it up just like that. We're going to give it a press. Now I prefer when it's like this and I want to make sure I've got all my image, I'm just going to slide it off the edge of my desk, flip it over, making sure nothing moves. If you notice I did that fancy thing with your hands, making sure I never took pressure off. Give it a nice rub. And also this way it's a bit, I find it more fun because then you don't quite know what you're going to pick up. Just like that. Ding, 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 ding. And lift, she says. And now we've got those beautiful little circles on our poly plate. So on our image. So I'm just going to move that before I get ink everywhere. But I'm not finished yet. I'm not, you know, it'd be too simple to leave it like that, wouldn't it? So I'm going to leave Loopy-Loo back over there for the minute. And I'm going to take my wilted violet again. Because at the moment it looks like I've just got, well, some random looking bits under the ocean. Yeah? So on this one, let me get some white card again. The other downside of having a fancy desk. Fancy covering on my desk, you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to go around the edge. Dink, dink, dink. Nothing special. Nothing special at all, just round the edge. And you could use this on anything. Now you can see I've gone a bit over the top in the middle there. Don't like that. No, 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 no. Don't like that at all, so I'm just going to rub it out. Dink, dink, dink. Ah, that's what I was going for. I was going for the extra bits in the middle of that one. Let's just come back in. There we go. Right. What I'm trying to do is create a bit of a frame around it. So our purple on this, because at the moment it looks like lovely, like underwater scene. Purple! Yeah. What I'm trying to do is by framing it, it brings it all together. So I could put it on like that and you get all this lovely texture, you get bits going in and out. But I'm going to spritz it. And what this will do is it'll reactivate our inks. It'll reactivate the oxide that's just been plonked on there. And this bit, so it all starts to mix and merge together. So quick spritz. Just like that. We're going to pop it down. Oops. Somewhere near. That's not as close as I was hoping it would be. and I overspritzed. I should have cleaned off the centre of my poly plate. I didn't, because I've made this too wet. Rude. So I've not done the cat's nose. There you go. So I've smudged it because I spritzed the whole thing and didn't take the water off the middle. Still there. We could go back in actually, and we will, because I don't like it now I've messed it up. We were only playing, weren't we? She says. we were only playing. We'll come on to a proper card in a minute. So this time I've gone for my Villainous Potion because I've turned that a bit watery, haven't I? So we're going to do exactly the same, just kiss it. Chunk. I'm not going to go over the top with this one. And kiss it again, and maybe just a smidgen down that side. There you go. There was no poly plate there for it to stamp onto. Then let's just grab this a minute. I should have dried this before I went and put my ink on there. Feels a bit like Challenge Annika. Or Countdown, I need that music. Will I dry that before this one dries? We'll see. So I'm going to come and pop this back on here. There you go, and if you're not sure, lift it, turn it over, oops, pop it back on your desk without moving it, and give it a little rub. There we go, and lift it gently. There we go. See, I did that on purpose. Now we've got our background, and then we've got the ones up the front. Yeah. It does look like underwater now. We need one of our little fishies from our calendar to come swimming in, don't we? Right. So there you go. We have got ink with an oxide, and then our two little oxides. And this one is where we did one colour, stamped it, then did the other colour, spritzed it and stamped it. So you do get that mixing and you get that merging. It's still very wet actually, that one. She says she makes a finger purple. And then on this one we did it the opposite way around. So we put our base colour on, and then we took it off but added the purple to it. So it's more of a it's a single layer ink, whereas this was doubled. Yeah, I mean, you can just see the difference. It's a lot stronger, that one, isn't it? Both got the uses. And then on that one we've just done a little bit of kissing and a bit of a frame on it. Yeah, so should we make a couple of cards? I think so. I'm just going to clean off Loopy Loo, because if I don't, you just know I'll forget to do it later. She should have some packaging somewhere. There it is. Right, so I have got some 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, so 5x7 to go on a 5x7 card. Yep. And I did have, where did I put them? A couple of sentiments. I just dragged these out. I've got "You are wonderful" and "Have courage and be brave." So what am I going to start with? I think I'm going to do my ink first. Yeah, should we do an ink one? We're just going to do exactly the same as what we did before. Let's move that out of the way while we ink up. But I'll show you how easy it is to turn it into a card. So cover it in your cracked pistachio. There we go. It's a bit of fun, isn't it, going back over poly plates? Not done poly plates in forever, it feels like. So I'm going to put some blue on. can't really see that, can you? Let me bring that white card back in. Yep, so we've got cracked pistachio, peacock feathers, and then we're just going to drop a little bit of the pink in, not too much, because I don't want to put too much in. That's the top and bottom of it, isn't it? There we go. Right, so you can just see I put a few little swizzles of pink in there. Made a mess of my ink stack then, didn't I? And we're just going to spritz it. I'm hoping my card, it's looking alright. Spritzing, not drying. There we go. So I've got my poly plate. I need to stop spritzing my hands. We're just going to pop it down on here. I'm going to go straight in the centre of this one, I think. I am. I've got an idea now. You can tell it suddenly went ba-ding. So we've got our poly plate. Lift that up. It's going to go that way. Oops. Give that a quick dry off, and I'm just going to come back in. I think I need a dry piece of tissue as well, don't I? Just going to dab that bit there, and I'm very gently, I'm going to do it before it dries. Very gently I'm going to take my peacock feathers again. Now I want to put a saying on top of this, so I don't want it too dark, my swooshes, my extra bits like on here. So I just want it really, really gentle, subtle, that's the word I'm looking for. So just a few little scrapes around the edge, nothing too much, just very gentle touch. I know me, gentle touch. Whew. There we go. And because I've not dried that yet, what's going to happen is it's going to go on, but it's going to bleed into it, blend in very, very gently. So again, I'm just going to come pop it on here, ding, 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 just like that. Might be too gentle, we're going to have to go back over in a minute. Just pick that up. Oh no, that worked. So we've got our edges on there. I'm just going to give it a quick dry. And I need this pretty dry because I want to put a bit of charcoal pencil on it, and I also want to stamp on top of it. So if it's wet and I come to stamp on top of it, it's going to go, oh no thanks. And that's when you get messy sentiments, and I don't want that. So I'm just taking my time to dry it. There we go. So before we do anything else, we can do a little bit of splattering. I was trying to decide what colour to go in with splatters. I am going to try a bit of cracked pistachio first. Cracked pistachio can be quite pale. Well, it is quite a pale colour, isn't it? What am I saying, can be? It is a pale colour. Sometimes when they're really pale like that, they don't work for the splattering, but we'll see. No, it's working. A little bit more than I thought, but I've done a bit too much splattering. I know, you'd never believe that with me. And then we're just going to grab a teeny tiny bit of the blue and do the same. Could really do with just drying that off first. Because if I went to splatter that now onto there and it hit any of the wet patches, it'd just all mix together, whereas I want nice dots, yeah? So if it's dry, it's going to take more for it to merge and mix and blend. That's the word I'm looking for, blend. There we go. Again, I'm just coming around. Ooh, again. It was going so well, and then I did that extra tap. It just went too much. Too much. There we go. I'll take that off there. I'm not going to put the pink on. Just wipe that desk all over, because you never know. I'm going to get a new tissue as well. Oh, I know. Treating myself to a new tissue as well. Just drying those other dots that we've put on there. There we go. So it looks nice, and we could quite easily just put a sentiment on there now and we'd have a card done. However, I just want to make it look a little bit more like it's got a bit more depth to it. So I'm just going to grab my charcoal pencil. Now that one looks like it's got a bit of a grubby end. Looks like someone's tried to eat the end of it. That one will do. I'm going to have that one instead. This one looks like it's been eaten, but at least the end's okay in it. And all I'm going to do is very gently just follow with a bit of a scratchy line, because no one notices a scratchy line doesn't quite go right, but everyone notices if when you try and draw a straight line that doesn't go right. Yeah, just a little bit, just like that, and then just in here as well. Got some of those little gaps in there as well. Yep. So can you see now? Just a little bit of charcoal pencil. It really gives it a bit more depth. Yeah. She says, and then she adds a bit more to it. Stop, girl, stop. You know me. Right, and then I should have a very stuck stamp. Ooh, just like that. And I have got "You are wonderful," because I am hoping. Oh, it was stuck. It was stuck. I'm hoping. Look at that. It fits inside. Actually, no, it does. It fits inside my poly plate. Lovely. It's like I almost planned it. That. I'm just going to pick it up, and then got a black ink over here. Ink it up. There we go, and that's going to go right in the middle, like so. Oops, my fingers decided to lock up. There we go. Oh, I've got purple ink everywhere. Turn myself purple. Look at that. Whoops. Kitchen roll. Yeah, I've got a nice purple finger now. How cool is that? So you can see we've got really nice little feature there in the middle of our card. So I'm going to do exactly the same, but I'm going to use my oxides this time. So I'm going to grab my card at the same time while we go for it, and I'm going nearly picked up my black ink then, that would not work. Put my paintbrush back in there. So for this one, I'm going to go with my Salvage Patina again. So I want lots and lots of colour, so I'm doing a little squirt. So pop it down and give it a bit of a squidge, just like that. And then I'm going to take my kitchen roll. And I want my wilted violet, because I do think these two do work really, really well together. Whoops. Again, just like we did before, just add a little bit on. I'll do a bit around here. Maybe a bit there. I'm not even inking it up this time now, because can you see I've got loads and loads of Salvage Patina on there. So all I'm doing is mixing it basically. Right, I'm not going to take any more off or on, I don't think. No. Give it a quick spritz. I am going to take that big chunk of ink that's there. Oh, clean bit of tissue would have helped on that. Could just see what was going to happen then, couldn't you? Ah, be going everywhere, that. Absolutely everywhere. So we're going to pop this on here. Yeah, I'm going to put that there, I think. So go with the more subtle of the two. Oh, see, that's what happens when you don't clean your stamp base properly. You end up with bits. Just giving that a once over, all over. Just give it a quick clean. I'm going to give it a proper clean because I'm getting a wee bit messy with it now. There we go, right, that's better. And I think I'm going to have another rummage. I'm going to have another rummage. Ha ha ha, there it is, I think. Oh no, it's not there. That one is. Does that one work? Ooh. Oh, decisions. Yeah, let's go with a bit of chicken wire this time, should we? It's like the whole desk just falling down on top of it. So this time we're going to grab our chicken wire. Oh, look at that! Nice little stamp base. Kind of ready to go. Put that back on there. Yep. This time I'm going to grab my chicken wire and my wilted violet. Just ink a bit of it up, and we're going to have some in that bottom corner. So we're going to pop some down here. Oops. Just like that, and then I want to ink it up again before I do my next one. Fingers and thumbs tonight. And you notice I'm going for this fancy bit on the stamp. I don't want this bit here, I want this fancy bit, so I'm just going to come in and pop it back down up here, just making sure my thumb doesn't go in what I've already stamped. I know, loads of ink and I hardly used any of it. Pop that down here. Oops. I normally hover before I commit to plonking it on, but that wasn't happening, was it? It just went for it. Let's flick it over so we get lots and lots of the texture this time. Just like that. I'm just going to take that off. There we go. And let me clean that stamp before I forget. And I just want to give it a bit of an outline as well. There we go, that one's nice and clean again, ish. About as clean as my stamps ever get, to be fair. I'm just going to go around the edge, hardly anything. Yep, it's really gentle, just tapping around edge. I could have done this with my stamp, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to or not. So just, you can see, very, very little frame on there. I'm going to line him up again. There we go. And this time I'm just going to press around the edge because that's where my bits are. There we go. Not too bad, is it? Now let me grab that pencil back that we had a minute ago. I'm just going to come back in again. So you can see exactly the same technique as what we did before. Just stamp it on there. Just add in little bits. Just like that. Not a lot of colouring going on there. Now, let's see if I can find... So I am thinking we might pop a Happy Easter down the middle, and then if I could use March's monthly make, it would be wonderful down there. But I'm not allowed to, because you've not got it. I know postmen are good, but they're not that good. It won't have arrived today. It was only sent this morning. So, oops. I'm just going to have a quick root in this bag, because I should have in here. Oh, I was hoping it was going to be closer to the top. Oops, daisy. You know, it'd be easier if I stood up and actually moved. Whoops a daisy. I know I keep saying whoops a daisy, sorry. Nope, it's not there. No, wonder where they've gone. So what I was looking for, because it should be here with the others, but it's not. Bear with me, 1 second. Bear with. If not, we will have to do it slightly different. Nope. So we'll cheat instead. We will use. I'm still going to use this one, and I'll use this one, and we're going to cut that flower out, I think. And there we go. I'll have a bit of a butterfly action going on as well. So that's going to go there. We're going to pop that little flower down there, but we're going to have to cut him out, I'm afraid. But that's okay. So we're going to use, no, it's too much, it's too similar. I was going to say we'll use some of our backgrounds we've just created, but we won't. We'll use this one instead. We'll use a big bright colour, I mean, instead. I was jumping ahead in my head then, if that makes sense. I'm just going to stamp a little flower. Let's stamp another one. And then we're going to grab our butterfly. Ooh. Evening, Noala. I know it didn't help. I didn't get around to posting today at all. I was having... things wouldn't load onto a website, so I was having one of them days. But monthly makes have gone out the door, so that's a good thing. They're all on the way, yay! So let's hope. Yeah, it kind of sticks. There we go. I'm just going to grab my black ink, and can you see we've got this lovely background we created earlier. So I'm just going to choose an interesting spot. I keep being drawn to that bit, so we're going to use that bit. Pop our butterfly on there, see? And we've got a butterfly coloured in already. How cool is that? I'm not going to do the same for our flowers because it's all the same colour. So I'm going to grab my pens and just do a quick colour with them. Ooh, I've got ink everywhere. There we go. They should be okay. Let me just grab a pen or two so we can do some colouring in. I'm going to grab yellow and orange. Butterfly, saying, flower. Oof. We're getting there. Just going to do this really quickly. Lovely bright yellow centre. Oh, can't get the lid off my pen. Oh, no, not happening. Ha-ha. So when they're brute force, it'll come off in end. Should have dried that a little bit better. But you get the idea, don't you? So I'm just using the flower off the mini floral borders, which is our Stella. We all love our Stella, don't we? Nearly done. Ooh, if I'd thought about it, we could get that as well. We might just do that. Ooh, that way. Got some leaves there, we'll take them as well while we're at it. So I just need to grab green in a second. There we go. And we'll grab a quick green. There we go. Whoops. Why am I waiting in between? It's so my pen, I've got alcohol, I've got the chameleon pen, so it's basically, it helps with my shading. So the alcohol is going into the pen. So when I come back out, I'll show you, it does the shading for me. Yeah? Don't know if that showed up very well. So I just pop it on there. It takes away, well, adds alcohol to it, or takes it away. Never worked it out. And then it just does all the blending for me, so I don't have to worry about my blending. It's a cheats way of colouring in. So it just takes the colour away, and then eventually it gets back to the colour the pen should be. Ooh, squeaky pen. There you go. So yeah, they're my cheats way of colouring in. does mean I can colour in though, so they do make colouring in easier. Take a bit of getting used to. There we go. Right, I've just coloured in that little bit that I didn't. Yeah, they do whiff a bit. I will admit that they do whiff a bit, which is why you'll notice I only do quick, short bursts of colouring. No, get rid of that bit, and then we're just going to go around this one. So it's a good job I didn't just find my flower head, because now we've got not petals, the leaves as well. So to be fair, Bear had a bath earlier after swimming, and he used his man soap. And ever since then, that's all I can smell is man soap. It's it honked a bit. I think we've hit the teenage years. It's like, whew. He does like his man soap though. But it was a bit stinky. But he wanted to smell good, so you know, I can't complain that the kid wanted to smell good. Right, oh, butterfly, nearly. Oh, another rumble from the jungle down there. There we go, and we're just going to grab around the edge. Not the best cutting out, you get the idea. And then we're going to grab our poly plate back. That one's shouting out to me that I need some white pen. It's going, white pen, white pen. Sorry, you do, you want white pen, don't you? I know. You do, you want a bit of white pen just in there, just to, I know, not a lot, but just a little bit of white pen. I don't blame you, I'd have wanted a little bit of white pen too. Just like that, see? Makes your wings look all pretty full. You're happy now you've got a bit of white pen. There we go. See, it's not shouting anymore. A little bit of white pen. Whilst it's in my hand though, we'll do a little bit over here. Because I've realised my centre looks a lot like my outsiders, but that's okay. Right, so we have got our poly plate that we did before. We have got our Happy Easter, because it's a vertical one. And I think it'll go really nicely in that poly plate. We've got a little flower that's going to come and sit right down at the bottom. We've got a butterfly that's going to sit up there somewhere. But I still need to move them because I still need to stamp. See, I got carried away then, didn't I? Pop our Happy Easter in. Because it fits nicely in the middle of this poly plate. Just like that. Told you I didn't know where we were going. Didn't know where we were going tonight, but we've ended up with two quite nice little cards, haven't we? Right, let's move that out of the way. We're going to do a little bit of shaping, just a little bit, just a little bit. That's going to come down here like so, and then our little butterfly. So that was using up one of our scrap poly plates that we did earlier, one of our testers. Yeah, so there's that one. There's that you are wonderful. Inks, oxides, inks and oxides, oxides. Yeah, we've had a bit of a play, haven't we? Okay, I'll move them out of the way so you can see what we've done. There's our final pieces. I do like that ink. I do like inks, but that looks, yeah, I haven't got a favourite actually out of those two. Yeah, it's really simple though. Polyplate, sentiment, job's a good one. So, I was trying to put something in my bin then, didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. There we go, right. So, there we go. Oh, I've just seen the time, I do apologise, I've kept you all. If I can find me, there we go, there's my button. She likes the blue and purpley one. That one. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty cool, aren't they? But you can see the difference. That one's putting it on one at a time. So a nice thick layer of ink. And that one's popping on the first colour. And then with your oxides, popping it on with a tissue or your blending tools or anything. To put that second layer on. So you get more of a watercolour effect doing it that way. A bit more of an ink effect, yeah? There you go. Yeah, I've had fun. I've had a bit of a play. I've not had a play like that in ages with polyplates, have we? So, there we go. What are we up to? Monday is the new monthly make box. They are on their way. I hope you do like this one. It's yeah. I'm not saying any more about it. They should be on their way, and I hope they arrive quickly for you to play with. Oh, thank you all. Thank you for your lovely comments. Back Monday, where we will be opening. I keep saying April's. It's because I've been working on April's monthly make, but it's not. It's March's. So Monday, we'll be opening March's monthly make. I can't believe it's March already. Where's that gone? I mean, crazy, crazy. It's going so fast this year. So yeah, back 7 o'clock Monday to open March's monthly make. Can't wait. So I do hope you can join me then. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 8:30 for a bit more playing. Yeah, a bit more playing. So thank you for joining me tonight. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks.